I want to call somebody today to just share his testimony. And the reason why I want to call him up here today is because his testimony has been fascinating. It fascinated me from years ago when I first met him. And I said, Sige, one day we're going to have you share. And the reason why I want him to come up here today, his name is Alex, is because Alex's testimony shows us the intricacy of details on how God put everything together. And again, when you hear this, when you hear his testimony, you'll understand the punctuality of God, the sovereignty of God, and then also the majesty of this King. So I'm going to call Alex Mendelson to come up and share his testimony. He's out here.
Good morning, everybody. So my name is Alex Mendelson. Now I'm going to share the time that God reunited me with my biological family. I was born in Manila, Philippines. I was adopted and raised in Rockland County, New York. I grew up in a half Jewish and a half Roman Catholic family. From a young age, I knew I was adopted. It was pretty obvious. My parents are really transparent with me, but adoption raised a lot of questions about who I was. That curiosity led to a lot of deep insecurities that I battled with for a very long time. It was really hard for me to be confident because people often ask me, like, where are you from? Who are your real parents? And that would just wear on me because I didn't know how to answer it. I knew my parents, but it was hard to answer it. These questions triggered feelings of rejection, especially in my relationships. My relationships suffered from it. But my parents loved me very, very well. They loved me very well. They raised me very well. But I always had this fear of abandonment. That hurt ran really deep, and it was more than I can understand. At the age of 12, I went to a Christian sleepaway camp, and I heard the gospel for the first time. My counselor was preaching, and I can feel God's presence fill the room. It felt like a thick air. It felt like the air got thick, and my eyesight went vertigo. And I heard in my heart, he said, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. He is real. And I didn't know what was going on. I just remember he was talking, and I just heard that voice, and immediately, without hesitation, without questioning it, I just gave my life to him. I gave my life to him. But I felt something I never felt before. And this is more than I can explain in a way. I felt fully known. I felt accepted, and I felt loved. It felt like he understood me more than I understood myself. And I don't know how to explain it. I just felt all this love rush into my heart. See, I've been questioning my identity my whole life, right? Who am I? What am I doing? But that peace, it marked me and it stayed with me. But God wasn't finished. He wasn't finished with me. He didn't just save me from hell. He wanted to heal every part of my life. I just didn't know it. I was just happy enough to be saved. I'm like, I'm not going to hell, I'm going to heaven. Jesus loves me, but I had a hard time holding on to that. Later on, I found a church in New York, and they had an amazing inner healing ministry. One day, my pastor said something that changed my life forever. It just changed my life. He said, Alex, it was actually during the worship service. He sat next to me. He's like, Alex, the healing you're looking for is connected to the time when you were adopted. And I was like, what? What are you saying to me right now? And it frustrated me. It made me so angry. I was like, I have no memory of it, one thing, and I had no ties to the Philippines. I wasn't connected to any Philippine communities, nothing, all right? And I also asked, how could I heal from something I can't remember? And he just left me with that. I love him, he's great, but he left me with that, and I honestly felt really hopeless. So I prayed about it, and then I heard God speak to me very clearly, say, son, I want you to look for your biological family. And I was like, okay, I don't know if I want to do this. I really don't know. That began a 5-year-long journey. I hesitated at first. I was really scared. I was afraid that if I opened up my heart, it would crush me. I was really afraid. I was actually afraid if I actually opened myself up to this, I thought I was gonna be in despair. I thought, it's like, you better show up because I'm opening myself up to things I never knew were there. But I went through it. I did DNA tests. I contacted people. I did everything. I truly tried to make a film about it. I even had a producer want to make a film about it, and everything fell apart. I just thought if I just did it, I just went in that direction, it would just happen, right? It's like manifest destiny or whatever. But nothing worked. And a lot of times I gave up. Eventually, I just came to the end of myself, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, you know? Just went to God in prayer, and I just honestly said, you told me to look for my biological family. You either were telling the truth or this is some kind of cruel joke. And you opened my heart to things I didn't know were there. If you are who you say you are, do it or I will give up. I was very blunt. I knew what I meant. I needed him to show up. 2 months later, I woke up to find my story have gone viral overnight, like that, within 12 hours. A friend had shared my story across Philippine radio stations. I had thousands of notifications and hundreds of messages, and at least 5 people were claiming to be my mother. 5. I went from absolutely nothing to every possibility, almost too much of a possibility if I'm being honest. Then I heard from Kapuso, Jessica Soho. They reached out to me. They paid for my DNA test. They flew me first class to the Philippines. I was reunited with my biological mother. After a week of filming, I found myself hugging my mother on screen. Before I knew it, I was already back home and I was in absolute shock. Honestly, I didn't feel a thing the whole time. I was just doing all the stuff I needed to do, right? Film, smile, everyone, here's your mother, and we'll see you later. You know, that's what it felt like. I got back home and my feet touched American soil and I heard that still voice again. He said, I heard God. He's like, I told you I'd do it.
This is the beginning.
The light's not flashing though. Probably those hook into the seatbelt, those straps.
For you fashioned my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I thank you because I'm awesomely made. Hello. Wonderfully, your works are wonders. I know this very well. My bones were not hidden from you when I was made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes can see me as an embryo, but in your book, all my days were already written. My days were shaped before any of them existed.
Gumagawa ng dokumentaryo.
Jessica? Yeah, hi. How are you?
God, how I prize your thoughts, how many of them there are. If I count them, they are more than the grains of sand. If I finish the count, I am still with you.
Thank you, Jesus. Romans says, if you sincerely confess Jesus as Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. That's a guarantee, all right? Upon that moment, you're immediately adopted into a family. You're in the family. You're his now. But oftentimes, you still carry that baggage into that relationship. You come up with all your stuff, all the things you know, all your experiences, and you're there in this house, in this new family, you have no idea what to do, right? See, I knew that he loved me, And he called me his child, but I struggled to believe it. I really did struggle to believe it. It says in John 14:18, I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you. You hear that? I will come to you. I opened my heart and I just stayed there and opened my heart and he said, Alex, I'm gonna come to you. I didn't have to. I was an orphan. And I had a really broken heart. Shaking. Trust didn't come easy for me. But he never gave up on me and he chased me down. He chased me down. But I had to do something. I had to learn to surrender. The more I surrendered to him, he gave me the desires of my heart. I had to learn to say one thing, and it changed everything for me. I said, not my will, but yours. Be done.